Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Law again. Today I'm setting up my Commander Mini for a second time. Just getting it pretty, getting it ready for amped electric games. If you're available, also might as well hit that place up. It's going to be in Bentonville, Arkansas. The flights are pretty cheap there, just because not that many people are going on a regular basis out there unless they're really avid mountain bikers or whatever. Over in Arkansas, so it's like Walmart HQ, a whole bunch of people have pumped a stupid amount of money into that whole bike infrastructure. It's damn impressive seeing just how well built all the structures are. Their trails are groomed to near perfection. Last year when we were riding, it was gorgeous riding around. It was humid and sticky, that's the one thing, but that's like most places with woods. The rail yard, this like whole pump park slash like BMX park, was freaking sick. Everybody would end up going there at the after the whole Amp Electric Games events were going on, just to go dick around and really just get good practice for all the jumps, or jumping period. I can guarantee you half the people there who were more like moderate riders have definitely leveled up since then, just via that event alone. Like I myself got a little bit more ballsy with my bigger jumps. I don't know, I just need to get more time, I guess, and more access to things around here. Vegas has crappy sand and doesn't have big jumps. I don't know. Anyways, Commander Mini, I took off the velcro that I put on prior to and the foam that I applied prior to because I didn't put any real quality time into the situation, and it's kind of just been a mess that I slapped together. So now it's going to be a little bit less of a mess. I'm just going to put down new velcro, cut a couple new foam pieces to shim my feet out, and throw on my llama pads that I still haven't actually started making for everybody, or at least I haven't gotten into printing again. Maybe I'll find energy and time to do it later. We'll see. Commander Mini is a great wheel. The general body shape is whatever. We're in that weird generation where all the wheels are too tall for people, or not necessarily too tall, but they're tall and chunky, and then all of our knees end up getting closer to this edge, and then we get bowed out, and then pretty much you end up having to put things at the lower end just to make it more ergonomic. If not, then you're going to be riding bow-legged, and then it just turns into the whole riding and getting used to that little bit of turd that's stuck in your sandwich. I don't know. These rails kick ass. These little stubs, they put these sliders in the front, but then that gets in your way of your knees when you're actually riding. So put them in the back. It's a good time, because what happens is when you turn your wheel on, you end up picking it up, and then you turn it on with your finger, and then after you're done, when you turn it off, you end up putting it down on the back side naturally with that same handle, and might as well have the nubs in the back where it doesn't bother you while you're riding, and it's in a good position. Probably want to look into something more minimalistic on the front end if you wanted to defend from the front impacts. Yeah, let's do things. So my pedals were previously set at the lower end. I'm gonna move those to a higher position just to see how that feels. Something that does confuse me is, so you have these settings right here. I don't know, I wish they had more variation than just two positions, but that's just me complaining. That's fine. It's still more than we've ever had before. change that height definitely helps with your knees a little bit. But there's other things to do to make a wheel ergonomic. Everybody and their mother's making suspension wheels. I wish they brought it back to the non-suspension option, because it's like 20 pounds that we could be shedding to make race wheels for the street. Like I get the general rider isn't racing, but also if you saved on suspension, then these wheels could also not be so expensive. But we'll see. The stock tire that comes on this wheel is pretty cool. It feels really drifty throughout the whole travel. So you're never really fully locked in on a corner, but it's better than a knobby in some situations. If you're doing only dirt riding, then yeah, just buy the knobby. But in my case, I'm all right with this. I just wish this was more slick on the edge, just to give you a better chance of hooking a corner with not worrying about losing traction down the way. So we're just going to get this with soft side Velcro first and resurface this whole lower area. I remember in like earlier UC days when people use like hard side Velcro on these edges, or on the wheel surface, and then I'd be so confused because that just hurts. Like maybe it would help slide a little bit, but not significantly enough. It's just pressing your leg against some hard edge. Since I've been riding the EX30, it's been fun, but very chunky. I wish the top edge was a little bit slimmer. The battery boxes, I think they made them a little bit too wide. I think we're at the point where Bigode should really just make more custom shaped boxes rather than just big rectangles that we have to kind of fit through to everything else, or along with everything else. It's funny looking at this design and the different iterations of it. Yeah, there's still metal inside this, like inside the foam piece, but it's still stuck to the wheel with adhesive only. The Extreme I'm happy with because you're using screws. The S19 came out. I was playing with that at Yuko. Yeah, when I went to go visit them, I was kind of excited for it. just because RS finally stepped back to make a 100-volt wheel rather than jump to 126. But also considering that they already made 126-volt vehicles, why not just continue with that and just kind of run with it? I don't know. They're special. They put speakers on the back edge as if riders want to use that to jump with. It's painful. For casual riders, they're not necessarily going to notice the difference or notice that right away. I don't know. There's a lot of design choices that didn't exactly make sense to me. Their front pad, there's no modularity with it. You're stuck with whatever they gave you out the gate. They put like a giant piece of plastic doming around, kind of like the S18. So then that reduces even more potential chances of making it your own. For the people that aren't doing any mods ever, it's a pretty wheel. The speakers are damn good, but wouldn't recommend buying it for much else. Plus, we're definitely in that orange era. Everybody and their mother's making orange unicycles for whatever reason. I don't like it here. Another reason I haven't posted anything for anybody is because it's been hot as balls out. We were recently hitting the 110, or no, like we hit like 118 a couple weeks ago, and then we started getting a crap ton of rain. So then it chilled out for a little bit, but it was still raining intermittently and it wasn't as enjoyable. Yeah, I don't know. We're here. Welcome back to more long-winded content. Let's see. What other wheels are around that are new? The A2. A2's cool. I think the pads are stupid. So they designed their like front nub or whatever the hell that's supposed to be like way up here, but then when you jump and try to use it, it's so much space in between you and your foot that it kind of becomes useless. So I couldn't picture anybody really making use of that, just because it's such a awkward position. But as far as like how slim it is, it's a slim shape, it's good. For teaching, I'm all about it. I wish I had a little bit more speed though, but there's definitely more torque on the wheel at least, so new guys that are just trying to punch it out the gate or off the line aren't gonna just eat shit right away. So that's nice at least. It's hard to picture what other perks there are. They're trying to make a handle on it, but then that handle is really weird shaped. And then it just looks out of place when you have it on. But it'll make some people happy, so that's fine. Just wish it was more concealed. They should probably bring back like the MCM5. I think as a casual riding wheel is beautiful, and somebody needs to recreate that in a compact form that allows for people to ride at 25 without crying. But also have a nice last minute option for when they're traveling. We need more parking lot wheels. I think those are good. Like when I go to work, or anywhere for that matter, I end up carrying the 14D still. The M104, I like the amount of torque it has, but it definitely feels a little bit more squirrely, and then on top of that, the button's so far away from the handle when you lift it up. Like you pick it up, but then you have to use your other hand, if not like reshift your finger forward. Whereas the Kingston, like the 14D, when you pick it up and you put it down, it's right where your pointer finger is, so you don't have to do any extra actions. Like turning on the M104 feels like reaching like face height to flip a light switch. Nobody needs that. But it's still great to dick around with. I don't know, I just hate everything. Looks like we got our loop tape on. It's like a tiny bump over here, but it's gonna be hidden anyways, so I'll kind of just accept it for what it is. Next, I'm gonna take my handy dandy piece of foam and cut that to whatever size I need. Probably just start by chopping off all these extra edges. Probably do this on a better table. Give me 1 second. Okay. Cut my foam, throw on velcro. So you guys with it. For those of you that aren't in the know, buy a putty knife or a cake, like an icing knife. This is a little spatula for 3D printing. Pretty much something to peel off your prints off the print bed, post doing your thing. It makes your life so much easier. If you get a metal one, it'll potentially scratch your wheel or ding or whatever you do. Some people get plastic, but the metal ends up pretty much separating way smoother. Buy a putty knife, you're saving the extra $1. Yeah, pretty much these measurements, if I can pick this ruler up. It fell upside down, there you go. Okay. Yeah, this is about little less than 10 inches wide, probably like 9 7/8. Just cut 10 inches. 10 inches wide by 11 1/8 as far as height goes. But really, like if you do 10 by 11 cut, you'll be good. And then for the lower, I did 1 3/4 by about 1 1.5. That'll give you enough gap to be able to build these pads around. Let's put that sideways and recenter it. just trimmed it just enough to be able to get past this initial edge, or pretty much line it up and still expose this tapered edge. For those of you that have bigger pads, it's worth just doing a little bit more, maybe like an inch extra, just to be able to have a little bit more real estate for anybody who has two-piece pads and something wider. Okay, got that one. Got the soft side Velcro. Next is to apply my pads. So for those of you that aren't in the know with the crap I designed, let's see. I've got these things that I've called the llama pads, which is essentially 4 pieces. These are brighter, but I'll just show you these ones because you're getting the same thing. I didn't get to print those ones out. Alright, yeah, these pads, they're modular. It's kind of like the same concept, or as a lot of pads, but this is the original design that I did before. That's the rear. These are the fronts. Almost. Yeah. So you got a heel pad, a instep, or like a toe pad. This one's going to be for power acceleration, and you have a rear side for braking. No, this is the rear side. The other, that's for the other side. This angle I set up to pretty much accommodate the accommodate calves a little bit better. But yeah, essentially it's just wedged pads. Having wedges allows for multiple shoes to fit a wheel properly without having to create a gap. I like a snug fit, and it just depends on what your riding preferences are. But I also like being able to escape and not get locked into pad setup. I don't know. I don't want as many sprained ankles. But then again, it also depends on your footwear, and some injuries are inevitable. Ride with caution regardless. Don't die. Let's see. Got these. Okay, so the way I set my pads up, I get to show you guys my pasty ass legs. Let's get the other side first. So you set your foot position. So in my case, it's my ball of my foot is here, my heel is here, so I center those two out. Upon centering those out, I'm gonna take my wedge pad and pretty much just tuck it right into that position to fit along. I'll put it in my instep and then I'll tuck down with that so that I could go a little bit lower than that. I like it snug. So right there, that's snug. And then my heel pad. So this little curvature of the conal area, you're gonna put that right above your heel in that little pit of your ankle. So then that you can press down, and I'm real snug in there. But at the same time, I can escape at any time and not be concerned. Let's get these pads. The front one, I usually just set it the full angle forward. That allows for me to kind of just squat down and press forward under the pad without any issue. And the rear pad, I set that up to be vertical, because what happens is when your legs are pulling back on a wheel, ergonomically it's better for your legs to be closer to the middle, to the midpoint. If you hang behind the behind that center point, it turns into kind of like a reverse caster wheel effect. like a backward shopping cart tire wheel. This allows you to reduce the amount of wobbles, while at the same time you can escape whenever. You have freedom. Newer iterations that I've done have another flap to even more so reduce the amount of falling back or coming off. I need to put velcro on that, but I'll do that, and then yeah, this is what essentially it looks like. For those of you that are into the whole 3D printing and 3D design, make something like this. It makes a world of difference for not necessarily like full all-in riders, but casuals who want to be able to jump up a curb and do whatever. Yeah, this setup is pretty neat. I'm able to do whatever off-road and do whatever BS that everybody else is doing, whilst being able to escape way easier. And then on corners, once in a while, if you're doing like a really tight corner, sometimes you want your leg to drift past your pads. So there's some situations where people's legs are stuck and then they have to like pull their leg out even further just to be able to get past, whereas these you can just drift. It's all situational, all preference. Anyways, not gonna hold you guys much longer. I'm just kind of ranting about this BS while I put it together. If you guys are going to Amped, I'll see you there. If not, then I'll see you whenever I see you. Love you guys. Take care. Yeah, before I forget, if you're looking to buy a Commander Mini, there's plenty of people that are worth buying from. But I got this one from UC Ungerground. Lim Ung, good guy. Definitely will save you some money on a wheel that you'll inevitably have to spend more money on because these things are kind of garbage. We'll still ride them anyway because they're fucking fun and beyond useful as far as any vehicle goes. Spend money, don't die. Okay, bye. Love you.